everyone, welcome to the Voice of Charon Healing Podcast. I am Almighty Servant Charon, here to let you know you are power, you are light, you are loved. You guys, there was an experience today. I wasn't planning on recording, but we're going to talk about false ego, okay? And specifically my false ego. So let's have a little story time right now, all right? So, your girl went to Sprouts, okay? I'm going to get me some herbs. I went earlier today and I got moringa powder. I got some organic cloves. I got some star anise. I got something else. Oh, Celtic sea salt. I was excited to find it. And then later on, I realized that I wanted to get black seed oil. So I went back this evening to get black seed oil from Sprouts, okay? And this gentleman was reaching for ashwagandha. Now, laugh at me because I don't know how to say it. Ashwagandha, whatever it is. He was reaching for that. And I recall hearing something about ashwagandha, whatever it is, however you say it. But I couldn't remember what the properties were. And I was like, is that something I should be getting? So I asked him, okay? I said, excuse me, do you remember why you're getting that? I mean, of course he did, but, just had to ask. And he was like, yeah. And he was like, something about balancing the emotions, right? And he said a little bit more about it. And then he said, but you have to be careful, though, because if you take too much, you'll become emotionless. And I was like, what? And then he was like, yeah. And he was like, so I take it for 3 weeks and then I take 2 weeks off. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, I need to research more because whatever I heard about it, it didn't say anything about what you're saying. Now I have to be careful, right? Okay. And I was like, thank you so much, superstar. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. Thank you for taking a moment to speak with me and help give me knowledge about something that I'm trying to learn to help heal myself or heal my body or make my body better or, just health. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with me, your human experience. Okay. Okay, so that was done. So now I am turned back and he walks down a few steps further, still looking for whatever it is he's choosing to get that day. And a woman with a stroller walks up into the aisle, okay? Now I'm standing there trying to see the black seed oil. I'm trying to see black seed oil still, and I'm not finding any. I'm looking, I'm trying to search, and then there's not much room for her to get by on the stroller. And I looked at her briefly, and then I was like, okay, she can go behind me. And I scooted closer up to the aisle to look for the black seed oil, right? I am not talking to this man anymore. I'm not looking at him. There's no interaction. The transfer of information was done. That's it. Okay. So she's there and then I see her still standing there and I'm like, okay, why is she still standing here? I was like, it's easy for her to go that way. She can't get past me. So I was going to turn to the guy and be like, maybe can you move out of her way, so she can get by, scoot up for a moment, superstar. And then when I turned around, I realized that they were together. Okay. And I was like, oh, they're together. Okay, cool. So I was like, okay. So I went back to minding my business, looking for my black seed oil. Okay. And as I'm standing there, now she says something to him and she's like, something, something, something. And then he says something and then she throws a jab, you guys. And she's like, yeah, cause it's, sort of cloudy over here. And I was like, okay. And I'm looking for my black seed oil, but I totally can read energy. So I'm feeling the negative energy of this chick is what I'm going to call her now. Right. And I had to take a little deep breath and God's like, no, you. When it comes to wits, I'm not the one that you want to come for, okay? So my false ego was like, oh, do you want to have a conversation? And then I had to try to keep my false ego down. And the only thing that saved me, you guys, because no matter what you're going or how good of a person you're trying to be in life, there are always challenges. So I might have had an interaction with this chick However, I saw the baby stroller and I'm knowing the baby and babies and everything. Like energy is everything. Energy can be felt if you're tapped in to yourself and whatever, you can feel the energy. Energy is energy. I mean, the transfer of energy is very serious. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to call this chick out on her negative energy and her so-called jab at me, behind the scenes, she thinks, but I clearly got it, and we can go there if you want to, that's the false ego still. So I'm trying to breathe and hold this down. I'm thinking of the baby, and I'm like, I'm not going to put that energy out, right? I'm just going to whatever, and let her do her thing. Okay? So I'm looking for the black seed oil, and then Sprouts worker walks down the aisle helping someone else, and I'm like, oh cool, I can ask them where the black seed oil, because I'm not seeing any, right? So I go down, and then when she finishes with that customer, I asked her where it is, and then she's like, oh, it's all down here. So I went down, and it was like 2 aisles over, and I was like, oh gosh, I never would have found it, thank you, blah 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 blah. And then she gave me things. I asked her, and she said, yeah, this, but I would get the pills because the black seed oil is really nasty to taste. And this one, something, something, something. So she gives me advice, right? Knowledge about the herbs. I'm not trying to sleep with this woman, just like I wasn't trying to sleep with that man. Okay. So anyway, so I got my black seed oil, and then inside me, though, I'm still feeling a sort of way because, see, her little, yeah, it's got foggy over here. That was a jab at me. So that jab is like looming around, and I'm like, I need to send this back to her, right? But I'm like, no, 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 that's false ego, breathe, just go out. So I went on ahead, I left the store, I bought my black seed oil pills without hexane. I probably should have researched it more, but whatever. I got the black seed oil pills and I got in the car, but when I was walking to the car, I still felt some sort of way. And I still wanted to say something to this chick. And I'm like, this chick just transferred negative energy to me. I'm not taking this. I want to give this back, right? And I was like, okay, God, please take this negative energy away, this toxic, low vibrational energy that this chick was in. Please take that away from me. As I drive off, I put the window down a little bit, and then I parked and everything, and then I'm sitting there and I still feel some kind of way. Now, what happens, you guys, when things like this occur is this is the times when you find yourself talking to yourself or playing it back in your head of what you should have said, or this or that, or did she whatever, and you're just thinking, right? You're just thinking, you're stuck in that little low vibrational place that this person was at. And I was like, I'm not about to do that, but also to say something wouldn't have been good because it would have been a false ego, low vibrational match to match hers. And not even low vibrational, you guys, but I am very aware that I can say something to somebody and shine a mirror on somebody that will have them shrivel up and be thinking about the negative, toxic parts of themselves for months, years, whatever. I know this, which is why I'm very careful with what I say. I don't I don't go on to fights with people with words because I know what my words alone can do. Okay, all right. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, right? And I'm like, okay, I know I'm just going to record. I'm going to make this a podcast. I'm going to record a podcast and ask them, what you do with that, because I didn't want to be negative and give it back, especially with the baby. Not that I would have been like, yeah, no, rowdy and all that, but just a witty, calm statement would have really got her. So I was like, okay, what do you do when you don't want to? What do you guys do in that situation? So that's what I was going to come on this podcast to record and ask. But as I was about to pick up the stuff to record for you guys, God gave me the answer. And it was this. So when people are trying to get their little niche off, of course I was like, okay, she's insecure. Hold on, I have to cough. I was like, she's probably insecure, she just had a baby. If I had a baby, I might be a little insecure too, those emotions, let me, not make it worse or whatever, whatever. And then I was like, no, she was literally low vibrational. Her boyfriend, her husband, whatever he was, you guys, it was like walking in the light in the path of God, okay? It was peaceful. He was at peace. He said his message or whatever. He passed on the knowledge and he was just like flowing in his own state, flowing along. And she came up like, I guess like humans don't talk to each other. Like I was wondering, like, is everybody that you speak with someone that you want to sleep with? Do you want to sleep with every man that you speak to? Have you never, like, where did that projection come from, But it doesn't matter. So I'm having all of these thoughts, especially knowing that she was insecure, okay? But still, why would I have to deal with that BS emotions of her? Like, okay, I know, keep calm, God, but why? That's kind of not fair. My false ego wanted to let her have it, hand it right back to her, or just simply say, you're insecure. Or, yeah, there is something foggy in here, but it's you and your insecurity. Whatever it was, okay? Anyway, so as I'm about to ask you guys, like, how do you deal with that if you're in a high vibrational state? What do you do when you don't say something that's like looming? How do you get rid of it? And then God gave me this. I was told he flashed the guy, her boyfriend, husband, whatever he is to her. He flashed his peace, his royalness, his divinity, his divine, his grace to me. And then her, it was low vibrational. It was insecure, literally. It was all of these things that were like on the negative toxic side, right? A toxic, I can't explain it, but I think you guys know what I mean. And the guy did a little giggle when she said what she said. And it was like, But then God told me, just like when I said before to you guys in some episodes before, that when people are lying on you or when people are hating on you to their friends and stuff, that a lot of the time, even when the people agree with the person that's hating on you or projecting negative energy or bearing false witness and all of these things, that their friends are the people that they are speaking to most time can clearly see that that person is a hater or is lying or is trying to do too much to put you in a sort of negative light that you aren't in. They are very aware that their friend or their business partner or their whatever is trifling, but they just agree or laugh or whatever. But inside, they're really like, oh, you're just a hater, right? So that's what God showed me. He showed me that he did that to agree and keep her at peace, but in his head he's like, oh gosh, she's insecure or whatever, let this flow, okay? So then I was like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna leave it alone. But whoo, I was tested. I was tested and I passed the test. But after passing the test of not engaging with her negative mindset, I left, and then it was like looming with me. And then that made me feel some sort of way. But then God reminded me that, first of all, it's false ego to have to respond. But more importantly, she's going through something. She's kind of lower vibrational. He's keeping the peace. He knew whatever. It's just something that she's going through. And it could be just because she had a baby. I mean, that don't make it right. But that was my test of the day. So just when it comes to people trying to throw little underhanded jabs, those are the worst ones, because it's like, oh, okay, really? I'm right here. I'm less than a foot away from you. If you have something to say something. But it wasn't any reason to say something, so whatever. Anyway, yeah, that's what happened tonight. And this podcast episode probably doesn't make any sense, but I am told to say whatever comes to my mind as it comes to my mind. So I'm going to put this up anyway. I love you. Love yourself. love everyone, and love yourself enough to not get pulled in to other people's lower vibrational states. You know, I'm laughing right now because what did I start with? The ashwanda, or however you say it, and how her boyfriend or husband, whatever he was, said that it was to control emotions, help balance emotions. And I'm like, maybe he needs to get some of that for her. I don't know. Maybe they take it together. Okay, I'm being bad right now. That's false ego. What I'm doing right now, that was false ego. I'm gonna let it alone. You guys, it's a gauntlet of a battlefield, a labyrinth of an experience journey that we go through here on Earth. I am sending loving light and healing inspiration to you all right now. You are power. You are light. You are loved. Almighty Servant Charon, story time over.
I am the voice of Charon, an almighty servant of God, okay? I love you, love yourself, love everyone. You are power, you are light, you are loved. Make sure you subscribe to the Voice of Charon Healing Podcast, where I speak about any and everything as soon as it comes to my heart. You are power, you are light, you are loved.
This episode is sponsored by Fearless Glory Publishing. Take the first step towards a life of true forgiveness and love with our best-selling book, It All Comes Up to Love, How to Truly Forgive via God's Source, our Creator. Order your copy today at ebook.almightyservant.com.